Coach Pitso Mosimane has officially launched the Youth Football Coaching Manual, a significant publication designed to redirect the national focus from professional football back to the sport's fundamental grassroots level. More than just a coaching resource, the manual aims to ignite a national dialogue on youth football development and encourage long-term investment in the systems that cultivate future talent. To talk to us about this, we invited Coach Pitso to talk to us all about the initiative and to give us more detail on what this manual is supposed to achieve. Coach, good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Of course, Coach. Coach, let's talk about the launch of yesterday, right? It was very important to have that launch. I'm pretty sure you're quite excited and happy to launch the book yesterday, but some key role players being there, the Minister of Basic Education being there as well. And imagine someone like Dr. Khumalo, right, who is in a youth system in particular, and, looking at how youth football is important and how it can be scouted. So let's talk us through, marriage between football on the pitch and the school classroom. How important is that?
Well, first, I'm happy that we got all the stakeholders that looks after the youth. And the schools, more important, we got the Minister of Basic Education, we've got the DDG of Higher Education, we've got the Football Federation, Dr. Jordan was there, and we've got the MEC of sports and education and sports, Mr. Maile. So everybody was around because this manual is for youth and is age appropriate from 9 years till 18. So basically, if you look at the academics, it's from primary to high school. And it's just a resource that we never thought we should have. I like to put it like the academics. It's like a manual for mathematics for grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, up till grade 12. So we have never had a resource where we could say, I could not argue with you if you are training the children the right way. Even myself, to be honest, I was putting the cart before the horse because I was coached the way I was coaching. So finally, when I saw that my son was struggling at school with the youth football, and I could not measure if the coach is doing the right thing or not thing. Remember, I coach at senior level. So, but it's like you don't know what's happening in the high school, right? But you know what's happening in university. So how do we judge that? So how do we produce entrepreneurs when we don't have a curriculum for high schools and primary? So that curriculum is there now, is age appropriate, so that everyone must know how you train, because they are young, the mind is not developed, the body is not developed. So we were loading things at the wrong. It's like taking curriculum year 5, you're taking it to grade 1s, and then we say they don't know how to read, or they don't know how to do mathematics. So we were mixing things. So this is what I've done. I've made sure that every step is followed the right way. And by the way, it's not my way, it's the way the world is doing.
Now, Coach, looking at that, I like that you've answered it in that way, right? How important is it when you're looking at youth development in athletes, we're looking at the intelligence, the discipline in players, but we know that those things are important, which comes with natural talent as well, right?
Yeah.
And you've mentioned just now how important it is to create a sort of curriculum that is adaptable to what South Africa is also like in terms of our football, and also just looking at how easy it could make it for the different ages of developing that particular talent.
Yes.
So how important is it that, younger players or younger footballers or people who want to be footballers or coaches look at that particular development as young people?
Well, they have to look at the manual. The manual is structured in a way that it helps you. You as a person, as you are now, you can be the coach. All I have to do is to give you the balls and the markers and the beeps, all right? And you go to the manual, you go to the section that age that you are coaching is there. So, for example, if you're coaching the 7 to 9 year olds, then you know how you need to mark your pitch, because when the small children playing on a big pitch, you see they follow the ball is going on left and right and all that. So we're trying to create that, to organize that mess, all right? Make it proper, put the right size of the pitch, put the right size of the ball, because you don't want the 7-year-old to be kicking a size 5 balls. You know, if you look at the picture I have there on the background, it's a size 3 or size 4 ball. It's the right weight of the ball for children to kick. And let's not make the little ones 7 years to be doing headering, because it's not proper for them to be getting the ball on their faces and all that, right? So we are just putting principles of training. You can coach. We even give you the times, the size of the pitch, the size of the ball, how long can you train them, what you should train them, everything for you. Anybody can coach.
Now, Coach, looking at this, would you say this is also a book that is important for parents as well to understand better the development of their children, especially when it comes to either coaching or either as a player? So would you say, you mentioned now, you said, I think we spoke a little bit earlier outside, you were speaking about how your son was the one thing that sparked this manual to be created, or one of the things that sparked this manual to be created. So you think this is an important manual for parents as well, also in terms of their children?
Yes, it's got two or three roles that how important it is. In fact, I have a chapter on the role of the parent, right? First is for you to see if your child is trained the right way, right? If you have done mathematics, would you allow your child at grade 1 to be square roots or multiplications? No. You want him to start with additions, subtractions, before we can go even to divisions and all that. So you can measure if the coach is doing the right thing by looking at the size of the pitch, the size of the ball, the number of children he has organized, how has he organized them. So you can see everything, and the parent can be the coach. And also we have a role of the parent where we ask the parents to encourage the children and not to be very hard on the children and looking for winning at all cost. Between 7 and 9 is only football for fun, so there's no winning. So in fact, we should not even give them awards, trophies for winning at that age. They must just play and have fun. You play it for fun at that age. So it's for a parent also who is on the sidelines. They shout at children, they shout at the referees, they put too much stress on the children, and on their way back home, you didn't score, you didn't play very well. And the child doesn't come back to football because he doesn't want that nonsense that's in the head, the talk that's coming. So the child doesn't want to play football anymore, and we lose these children from football. We put in too much pressure on the children.
Coach, I wanted to know obviously about, you're one of the people who put your hand up to be the coach of Bafana, right? And there's been, that has been the biggest question from the nation in particular when it comes to that as well. So looking at that, right, you've also said that South African football mainly has a development problem, not necessarily other problems. So looking at that, Coach Hugo Broos has obviously focused on how young the team should be, has made it a lot more younger, and they've competed obviously at the FIFA World Cup and also at AFCON. So looking at that, what is the lessons you've learned from your previous stint? But if you were to get this particular role as well, what do you think would be a lot more different, especially now that you've mentioned and touched on youth football from a very early age?
Well, there's always room for improvement for anybody. The minute you say, I'm the best, or I've reached the highest level, that's arrogancy, right? So there's always a chance to improve. So we cannot say the team has reached at this level. Yes, the bar has been raised. By the way, our generation, we won the Cup of Nations. So what are we talking about here? We have done it before, right? When we are playing football for Bafana, we won the Cup of Nations. And by the way, we went to the World Cup in France '98. So what is really that much that we're talking about? These things have been done. We've beaten Morocco. We've beaten Nigeria. We've beaten Ghana. So all we have to do is to check what we have done right and keep that, what we have not done right, and improve on that. I mean, it's there to see. Everybody knows the mistakes we did and all the good things we've done. So Coach Hugo Broos has done exceptionally well, but he's retiring. So so we cannot stay without a coach. The nation has to continue, right? So, yeah, and I said I'm happy to be one of those people to take the nations up, because I think I have international experience, right, and local experience to put that. I mean, maybe I must ask Rassi how he does it, right? So I must just copy from him.
No, I definitely hear you at that, Coach. Just before we wrap up, the words. What are the words that you have for the passing of Jayden Adams? We don't want to get into the details of all of that. We don't want to get into that. It's just about the player and who he was as a player. What are those words that you just like to say about him, but also just to anyone out there?
Yeah, I mean, we all passed our own sincerest, heartfelt condolences to the family of Jayden and also to Mamelodi Sundowns for losing such a player, and to all of us, the nation, Bafana. We lost a very, very good football player, a talent lost, very sad, and this is one of the things that are important in football, because we like to look at the player himself and we forget about the social and lifestyle challenges. So those are some of the things I mentioned to parents about the social side, encouraging the children and looking after our children and making sure that a talented football player is still a human being, right? So he suffers from all the challenges that every child or every player or a human being goes through. When you have trouble, it doesn't matter if you're a top talented player or not, you're a human being. So those social and life skills programs are key and important, but you don't start from Bafana. You start from the early ages, hence the book, hence the manual. We are addressing all those things.
Thank you so much, Coach, for joining us here on Morning Live. That is Coach Pitso Mosimane, who's officially launched the Youth Football Coaching Manual, and also some important and significant words coming from him in terms of Jayden Adams, who will be laid to rest tomorrow. That will be broadcasted live on SABC News.